We are back with your best cartoon of the decade tournament.
We tallied up all your votes last week to see which Disney cartoon you guys thought should be on top. This week we're checking out Cartoon Network to see which cartoon from that channel is going to face down against Disney.
Now first though, we have to figure out who that is. We have put everyone to brackets. You went online and voted. And now we're going to see who is triumphant. I'm Chris Carr.
And I'm Winnie Van Lanningham, and this is the best cartoon of the last decade.
Cartoon Network Conference!
Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our Super Nerd sponsor of the day, Some Assembly Required 75. Thanks to heroes like this BAMF, we're able to keep the lights on at NerdWire another week. Now on to the conference!
Cartoon Network and its late-night programming block, Adult Swim, have been trailblazers in animation over the past decade.
Really, there's too much to name, but we're going to try to hit as many honorable mentions as possible in this snapshot of the decade.
In the early 2000s, the network was operating at powerhouse levels with classic cartoons ranging from The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, to Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, to the original Ben 10 and Teen Titans series.
Even Adult Swim was running classics such as The Boondocks, Metalopocalypse, and Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
But towards the end of the aughts, the network hit a hiccup. The 11-year anime and action animation block Toonami was canceled in 2008, and the cartoon portion of the name Cartoon Network was forsaken as the channel moved forward with live-action shows in an attempt to capitalize on reality TV mania.
Still, a few series such as Chowder and The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack were able to keep the spirit of ye olde Cartoon Network alive.
Then came the 2010s, and with it, a new CN renaissance led by Pendleton Ward's Adventure Time.
Adventure Time's monumental success began to pave the way for a slew of offbeat, endearing shows such as Regular Show and The Amazing World of Gumball.
Meanwhile, the action animation torch had been passed from Ben 10 Alien Force to its subsequent continuation series Ultimate Alien and Omniverse, as well as the short-lived series Generator Rex and Symbionic Titan. In this decade, we also got the spiritual successor to Teen Titans, Young Justice, and the final half of the Star Wars hit Clone Wars.
By 2013, the landscape of Cartoon Network had dramatically shifted, and with it came two series that would define the network as much as Adventure Time had. The heartwarming and transcendental Steven Universe, and the bombastic and controversial children's show Teen Titans Go.
While many felt that TTG and similar shows such as Mad and Uncle Grandpa made the network cater more towards the short attention of younger audiences, 2013 also was the year Toonami was revived.
Meanwhile, Adult Swim had actually found success with its live-action series, but it too was itching for a new network-defining show. Enter Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland's Rick and Morty. This sci-fi parody series would go on to surpass even the Venture Brothers and Robot Chicken as the tentpole of Adult Swim.
By the mid-late 2010s, Cartoon Network had continued to deliver with its hits We Bare Bears, OK KO Let's Be Heroes, and the miniseries Over the Garden Wall.
Other notable series of this period with mixed reception include the Powerpuff Girls reboot, Clearance, and Mighty Magiswords.
Now as the decade comes to the close, Cartoon Network rests on the shoulders of future classics such as Craig of the Creek, Summer Camp Island, Victor and Valentino, and Mau Mau, Heroes of the Pure Heart.
Likewise, Adult Swim has a notable contender in Primal.
HBO Max also seems to be eager to take the CN legacy into the streaming venue with future continuations of both Adventure Time and this summer's debuted anthology series, Infinity Train.
But now, there can only be 8 series that will rise to the top to duke it out as the definitive series that will represent Cartoon Network in the best 2010s cartoon tournament. Who made the cut? Let's find out with match number 1.
In our first match is Young Justice. The young heroes of the DC Universe are sick of being viewed as sidekicks and kids, and decide to branch out on their own. Young Justice follows Robin, Kid Flash, Superboy, Miss Martian, Artemis, and other heroes as they come of age and learn the price of being a full-fledged hero.
And up against Young Justice, Over the Garden Wall. In this miniseries, brothers Wirt and Greg get lost in the unknown, a strange force that seems to exist outside of time. As they try to find their way home, they encounter many strange and fantastical things. This miniseries looks like a storybook, and for good reason. It's inspired by classic illustrations and folklore. Aw, hell yeah, we got Over the Garden Wall, y'all!
Yeah, but it's up against Young Justice, which, first of all, let's talk about the pictures that Brett chose to use here. Blue Beetle and Beatrice!
Why are those the photos?
I couldn't find a good picture of Wally, and also Robin and Superboy are really boring to look at.
You're boring to look at.
Dude, you're
That's why
boring to
I'm
look
not
at.
on camera.
Oh man.
Now I feel mean.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're very handsome, we're sorry. But what I'm not sorry about is why This doesn't even look like the two shows, man. This isn't what that is.
We do have the really cool storyline with Blue Beetle, though, in Young Justice, which is really, really great. Usually we focus on those kind of main staple characters in DC, right? Superman, Wonder Woman, the kind of core group of the Justice League. So to have other, like, kind of second string characters, like Blue Beetle, really take the forefront and have a super interesting storyline with all the different scarabs and all of this stuff, it's really, really cool. And you know it's a good show because they rebooted it. It's been crushing. It's one of the only reasons to have DC's streaming service, frankly.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
Shots fired, DC.
That and Doom Patrol. Those are the reasons why I got that service. And I just, I love it. I love it so much. It's my favorite show. Is the best, in my opinion, superhero show. Like, I think it's so much better than Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Fight me.
Whoa, you're gonna go on.
Inciting.
You're gonna get murdered. People are gonna find you and murder you.
You know, I just feel like being an agent of chaos in this bracket. But I think going up against something like Over the Garden Wall, which is an adorable show, it's really, really great, and I think a lot of people missed out on it because it was kind of this like blink and you miss it miniseries with like kind of creepy Miyazaki vibes and stuff to it. But I feel like these aren't equal contenders because Young Justice is so good.
Whoa, are you trying to tell me that Over the Garden Wall is not good? That is one of the most fun shows.
That is literally not what I
ever
said.
seen.
I said I think I enjoy Young Justice more. I didn't say it was worse. I mean, I'm kind of saying it's worse because that's what I'm gonna move
Yeah,
over.
that's your vote. I get
Okay.
it. I understand. But yeah, man, so I personally love Over the Garden Wall. I watched it in a day, just binged all of it right out. First of all, the soundtrack is amazing, and that's gotta be something that you appreciate, and as soon as I can get my hands on that vinyl, I'm going to, because the songs in that show are just incredible. The like kind of Americana folklore aspect of everything is so, so, so cool. Everything looks like it's torn out of the pages of a fairy tale book, and that's because it basically is. I just think that this show is so cool. It does so many things, and the voice cast is pretty good too. Something
Killer
that you'll
voice cast.
appreciate.
Elijah Wood,
Christopher Lloyd.
John Cleese.
Dear God, that
really
is
good.
amazing and insane. When I realized that Christopher Lloyd was the Woodsman, I freaked out. I was like, wait a second, is that Doc Brown? Yes! Oh man, I love it so much. I thought it was such a great show.
So is that your pick?
Yes, definitely.
I'm Young Justice.
All right, so the winner of match 1 with 54.9% votes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this one's very, very close. It actually swung in the last week.
Ooh.
The winner is Over the Garden Wall.
Yes!
Oh, man.
Wow! That's actually really surprising to me, though, because Young Justice is a great show. That actually really surprises me, but I'm glad I won. It's good. It's good.
You suspect.
It's
Internet.
it's the kind of like dark illustration storytelling that I love so much. I love the animation. I love how creepy it is. I love all of the just weird characters that they run into. Oh man, it's such a great show.
I guess I kind of also did myself a disservice here because I talked about how it's the best thing on DC streaming. And so it's not, it doesn't define Cartoon Network. So you know what? Fine, I hear you. You're wrong, but I hear you. Let's move Beatrice.
Beatrice!
Her angry little face.
Oh my god, she's so angry. And it's because she was a bitch to her family and turned them all into bluebirds, blue jays. Blues.
That's how Brett looks at
Blues
us.
Clues. That is how Brett looks at us.
And starting off match 2, we have the Clone Wars. With more star systems being swept into the Clone Wars, the Jedi struggle to maintain order in the universe. Anakin Skywalker and his young Padawan Ahsoka take on Jabba the Hutt, Count Dooku, Ventress, and others who want to see the Jedi fail.
And up against Clone Wars, Rick and Morty. After having been missing for 20 years, Rick Sanchez busts back into his daughter Beth's life and moves in with her and her family. Rick, a sociopath and scientist, enlists the aid of his grandson Morty for dangerous experiments and missions across the multiverse. Alright, so for match 2, we have Clone Wars versus Rick and Morty. And okay, I know that is not a fair pairing. We know that.
We're aware.
We are very aware. We are so sorry. But what did you want up there? Did you want Teen Titans Go on this bracket board?
No, you didn't.
You didn't. You really didn't. And so we had to make this call. We know that these are both separately amazing shows.
Yes.
And in a perfect world, we wouldn't have to pit them against each other. But
Life's not fair, kids. Let's jump in.
Life's not fair. Let's go. I'm gonna go from the point of view of Rick and Morty because obviously that is my favorite show in the multiverse of all interdimensional cable of all time. It's so good. Rick is one of the most like emotionally complex characters I think we have in all of cartoondom, let alone just on Cartoon Network. And as the series goes on, we keep getting to see deeper and deeper and deeper realizations about why he is such a crazy sociopath, even though arguably he has the perfect life. He can make anything he wants. He travels anywhere in the multiverse, and yet Rick is still unhappy, and he's still searching for that thing that's gonna complete him and make him whole. And Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland are geniuses. I love this show. I love the comic relief and relatability of Morty, and just how like, oh my God, like that. He's just like a little bit dumb, but his heart is so in the right place always. And I love that we have that character to kind of offset Rick's insane narcissism.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you're going to talk about complex characters too, I mean, Clone Wars.
So
Come on, we get Anakin and Obi-Wan together, which we didn't in the movies. We just kind of skipped over that. We see Anakin's journey. We see how things are going to get set up in the Star Wars universe. We get Ahsoka, who's just cool as hell. She's a little bamf. And we get Darth Maul again.
We get our boy back.
And, you know, I remember watching it too, thinking, this is weird. Gimmicky. And then they really make it work on the show. They really make it so it's a strong, good choice. We get some Mando lore in there. We have so much cool stuff. And then I'm just an idiot, and because it's like a Ewan McGregor version of Obi-Wan, and the fact that Obi-Wan is with Satine, and Satine was the love interest in Moulin Rouge, my brain exploded.
That's just real cute and sweet.
I think it's precious.
I love that.
I'm always thinking of musicals.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're a Rick and Morty.
I have to, but that's not because I don't think the Clone Wars is awesome.
Yeah.
I love Rick and Morty so much. It's like my favorite cartoon of all time. So I'm gonna vote for Rick and Morty.
I'm a Rick and Morty on this one too. Again, like I disproved myself earlier. I don't know if this defines Cartoon Network.
I don't think it does either. I don't think that it's a defining one.
Yeah.
But it is such a good one.
It's an amazing one though.
It's just hard because it's up against Rick and Morty. That's the only reason. If it was up against anything else.
For sure.
Let's see how we did.
The match 2 winner with 72.9% of the votes is Rick and Morty.
Yeah! We knew it. Rick Sanchez. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. Get Swifty.
Get Swifty up here.
Kicking off match 3, we have Adventure Time. Adventure Time follows the adventures of a boy named Finn and his best friend and brother Jake, who has magical powers to change shape and size at will. Grab your friends for this weird, wonderful world filled with songs, crazy quests, and bacon pancakes.
And up against Adventure Time, we have the regular show. Mordecai, a blue jay, and Rigby, a raccoon, are groundskeepers at a park. No job is going to stop these lazy bums from having a good time, though. While Mordecai tries to be responsible and do a good job, he's frequently led astray by his BFF, who has no shame and no boundaries at all. It me and Wit! Again, we've got some really, really big contenders in the Cartoon Network brackets.
These are huge contenders, man. But, dude, you know I gotta go with Adventure Time just because I love Adventure Time. I kind of believe that Adventure Time is what defined Cartoon Network for the last decade because, some of these other shows are amazing contenders, but Adventure Time started and ended within this last decade. We grew up with Finn and Jake. We went on all those adventures with him, and then to have the finale culminate a year ago when we were all kind of like out of that younger phase of our lives and getting to see Finn and Jake and everyone else go through those transitions. We got Bubbling finally. Oh my God, the best storyline of all time in my opinion. And it just really for me defined this past decade of like random humor that's also incredibly smart and doesn't take advantage of its viewership and doesn't dumb anything down. It's still incredibly funny and incredibly interesting and smart, but it's also silly as hell, and I love it.
Exactly. I will always love this show for everything it has given me, especially bacon pancakes.
Oh my God, of course.
Regular show, though, it's really, really good. It's really funny. It has more of a sitcom vibe to it almost.
It does. It has kind of like that workplace comedy. Like if I were to describe regular show, I'd say Parks and Rec and Workaholics had a baby.
Yes.
And this is the animated version of those two shows coming together.
100%, because it does feel like kind of the stoner option of everything, too.
Oh, absolutely.
That being said, though, I think I'm with you. Adventure Time, I feel like, is Cartoon Network.
It really is. To me, that's like the definition. Like in the same way to me that Rick and Morty is like Adult Swim. To me, this is Cartoon Network. This is like a huge one for me. So let's go
locking it
Adventure
in.
Time.
And the winner of match 3 with 70.4% of the votes is Adventure Time.
Yay! Punch in your buns! Punch in your buns! If you an evil witch, I will punch you for fun! Yes! Suck it, regular show! Just kidding, I love regular show, but yes, Adventure Time. In match 4, we have the amazing world of Gumball. Gumball, a 12-year-old cat, has a knack for causing trouble and hatching schemes. With his best friend pet brother Darwin by his side, the two take on annoying little sisters, family, and school drama with their funky town.
And up against Gumball is Steven Universe. The Crystal Gems are a team of aliens who have appointed themselves guardians of the Earth. Half human, half gem Steven learns to control his powers and help the gems on their quests, and usually finds a unique way to help them save the day. With this one, Steven Universe versus Gumball, really hard because these are two great shows.
Oh yeah, they are.
They're so good, so different though.
Super different from one another.
This is more zany, wacky. You've got mixed media in the art, which is really fun and compelling. But obviously, Steven is my guy. I watch the show so always. And not just because it's my job, because I genuinely love this series.
I think it's the only show you watch.
It really is. I haven't seen anything basically in 10 years.
It's so good though. It's so good.
It's so amazing. The storylines are so fantastic and epic. There's a really grand scheme to everything that's been started since day one. You know, we're getting this new reboot too with the Steven Universe future to see what else is continuing in the story. We have excellent representation. They take all these different forms of love, romantic love, platonic love, all the different ways that can manifest, and they present it in a really beautiful way that's not ham-fisted. It's so well done. There's nice nuance to it, and it's still fun and weird, and I love it.
Aw, dude, Steven is so good, and that's why it's hard for me with this one, because to me, Gumball is a completely different show because it's aimed at a completely different target audience. So Steven Universe is for all ages, up to adults even, can learn things from this show. Gumball is very much a kid's show, but it is a kid's show that is so smart, so funny, that even though it's it's very much a children's show, that does not take anything away from it. It is awesome. I think that something that this network does really well is that they don't undermine the intelligence of their viewers. So even though this is technically more of a children's show, that does not mean anything. It is still just as great as if it was aimed at older audiences. I love it. I think that there's something huge to be said for a kids show that adults can watch and still enjoy it as much as they would a show geared to their own age. The wacky kind of random humor is something that I enjoy. It's something that really came out of this last decade where like we have more just weird stuff that happens. We have weirder storylines, weird characters. I love that in this show there's always a different inanimate object coming to life. And it's just it's such an amazing show. I love Gumball so much. But if we're voting here, oh man, I'm voting Steven Universe.
Hells yeah!
Because as much as I've learned from Gumball, I have learned so much more about how to be an ally and how to kind of deal with people who are different from ourselves and still badass.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the match 4 winner, with 77.1% of the views, is Steven Universe.
Yay!
Okay, I kind of knew we had that one in the bag, though.
Giant
Let's be real. That's who's up against each other in the semifinals?
Dang.
How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do this? I think it's pretty obvious that I'm gonna go full Rick and Morty on this one. I think that as far as these two shows go, Over the Garden Wall is awesome. It is a completely new style of animation, a new format that we really haven't seen before from Cartoon Network. But again, we're talking about defining shows of the decade, and that has to be Rick and Morty.
Absolutely. Over the Garden Wall did amazing stuff. And obviously, I've got such a crush on this voice cast of
hell
just
yes.
this amazing, amazing cast of people who've come in to work on it. But Rick and Morty is seriously one of the most popular, well-done shows of the decade.
It's so funny,
You know,
dude. It's so funny.
If a show makes you riot for sauce from Mulan, I feel like there's something to be said about it.
I mean, I don't condone what happened, but
No.
that's a telling thing.
Rick and Morty fans, stop being buttholes.
Stop being buttholes, but also I don't think anybody rioted over the Garden Wall.
No.
So I'm gonna go with Rick and Morty on this one. I'm pretty
Absolutely.
confident.
Yeah.
Pretty confident locking that vote in.
The semifinals one winner with 45.7% of the votes is Rick and Morty.
Yes! Of course it is.
Oh, Rick and Morty for the next 100 years.
100 years!
Yes,
Rick and Morty! I'm really bad at that voice. I just love doing it.
Semifinals 2. Bah.
How do we do this one?
This is horrible.
This is the hardest.
a horrible choice.
This is the biggest definition of a Sophie's choice in this bracket. No, I don't.
These are the two things I cover, and I'm so
The
sad.
two things I love the most. Please, they're equal for me. You can't ask me to choose. Brett, I want to go home. I need an adult.
Yeah.
To be
I wanna
honest,
go
to be
home.
honest here, this is kind of what this whole tournament comes down to.
This whole tournament
Right?
does
Yeah.
come down to
A
this.
little bit.
You know what? I'm gonna be wrong, but I'm still gonna stand Steven.
Oh, do it. I'm going to lock
love
in on
him.
Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Because if it lost, that would be unacceptable!
It's horrifying. I know I'm gonna be wrong. I know I'm gonna be wrong because of the internet. But I stand Steven. I'm gonna go with Steven. This is a beautiful show that is all about inclusion, how to not only love people, but respect other people for being different than you. That whole end episode, Change Your Mind, that is such a beautiful sentiment of, hey, it's okay if you don't like me. I'm still gonna be me. And
heck yeah.
your views on me don't have to affect me in any way, but hey, if you'd ever like to stop being bigoted, I'm here for you.
Come
It's
on back.
beautiful. And that's the kind of shit we need right now, man.
It really is, dude. Steven Universe has completely taught us how to be people
Yep.
in the world that exists today, and how to be inclusive, respectful, and just overall not shitheads about everything. But I love Adventure Time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lock in Adventure Time because that series meant so much to me, especially just like as a bisexual person, seeing the relationship between Marceline and Bubblegum just
Yeah.
come together over the course of literally 10 years. I'm getting goosebumps, you guys.
Oh.
I love it so much. That was such an important finale for me to be able to see them have that relationship. Even though in the past they've been in relationships with men and all that jazz, and
Yeah.
it was the first time that I really felt seen by a TV show at all. So I loved it. I'm gonna cry.
I
love
know.
I love Adventure Time genuinely so much.
Okay.
So I'm okay. I'm gonna lock in my vote, Dad. What is it? Who won?
You're taking so goddamn long.
Why are you like this?
She's crying,
I'm
Brett.
crying. Leave me alone. Like, God, leave me alone.
The semifinals 2 winner
Uh-huh.
with 56.3% of the votes is Steven Universe.
Unacceptable! Yes! No, I love Steven Universe. I'm so happy. Yes!
Like, I feel bad because you just gave a really emotional, beautiful...
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. Just kick me while I'm down. I don't give a shit. Listen, my feelings don't matter. That's not what Steven Universe taught me, though.
Look at this sweet little baby facing off against this goddamn monster.
This monster sociopath gremlin person.
Oh my god.
Dude, and this is a hard final mashup too, because I feel like there's so much crossover too between Steven Universe and Rick and Morty fans.
Yeah.
Because both shows are awesome, and at the same time, they're so different
Very
as well.
different.
Why is that like the theme of this bracket? Is that all Cartoon Network shows are
Wide spectrum.
such a wide spectrum of awesomeness. Oh man,
Yeah.
I love that this is so hard. I love that this is so hard because that means that we have awesome shows.
This is very true. Okay, for this one, I love science so much. I adore science.
Science.
But I want a show that has a bit more altruism to it, you know?
Yeah.
Rick, especially in this newest season, has been pretty hard to like.
Oh yeah.
And I love Steven. Everything about him is wonderful and pure, and he must be protected at all costs. So that's who I want.
If every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs.
Exactly. It's so perfect.
I love it. It's so good. Nah, but man, I gotta say, I'm a nightmare. Rick is a nightmare. I stand my boy. I stand my boy Rick. I stand my boy Morty. I think that this show is so innovative, has completely changed cartoon comedy forever. The creators are geniuses. This is something that has influenced people so much that, like we said, the fandom is a complete smorgasbord of weirdos and misfits and intelligent people coming together to make jokes about science and multiverse traversing and portal guns and cool inventions. I want to see all this sci-fi stuff. I love it. And I also want it to be dark and brutal and upsetting because, I don't know, that's life, man. Life is upsetting and awful and terrible, and you're gonna meet a lot of Ricks along the way. But I think that having a sense of humor about it is the biggest weapon you have against evil forces in the galaxy / the multiverse.
Ooh. Ends with such a profound note. All right,
I know.
who is it, Brett?
All right, you guys ready for the winner?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Who's it?
The best show on Cartoon Network by fan vote, with 45.3% of the votes, is Steven Universe.
Yay! Oh, hell yeah! Purity wins.
Look at his sweet little face.
Look at that sweet,
Look at this little
pure
baby.
baby angel.
That's
Oh,
right.
Man, hell yes.
I love you. Be sure to vote for our next conference, Nickelodeon, by following the link in the description.
For more videos about your favorite cartoons, click the left of our faces. We've been Nerdwire. This has been fun. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.